my tablet set up here. Thought I had another minute. And I noticed the time, so just let me getting everything set up and hopefully it's all there we go. All right, making sure my volume is down on everything so we don't hear us. Got my chat all pulled up. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. It's February 1st, if you can believe that. I can't believe that. So, with February, that means there is a new, oh, my camera is at a little bit of an angle. Let's see if we can fix that a little bit. There are new subscription products, and if you saw Christopher's live earlier, you might have gone over them or seen them, but I'm going to go over them really quick. This is the stamp of the month. That's what Friends are for. And if you're the Stamp Plus member, you will get the die with this. We're doing a whole gnome and mushroom theme. So that's the stamp of the month. And the stencil of the month is a slimline stencil this time, and it's a buildable. I don't have the name right here in front of me. I can grab it just a second. It is the teacup pattern stencil, and it's this buildable stencil. Let's see, I'll put a piece that you can do the teacups and then the patterns fit over that. So I'm going to be playing with that later this month, but I wanted to show that. And then add-on products, we have the Best China pattern. Love the stencil. I've used this already quite a few times. We might use it tonight, but I haven't decided. And then we have the Mushroom Gardens stamp set. This is an add-on set, you know, which coordinates well with the stamp of the month. And I think this is a fun set to have for masculine cards and other things. And last fall we had another mushroom set that will coordinate really well with that. I can't wait to get them together. And then we have the My Gnomies stamp set, which is a buildable stamp set, and this will go along with the inspiration box, which is coming up here. The stamp is in the minute. This is the Tea Party paper pad. This is also in the inspiration box. This is an add-on, the My Gnomies. There are coordinating dies. I don't have them yet. They'll be on their way here shortly for both of those sets. But here's the Tea Party paper pad, double-sided. That is in the box. And then here is the stamp set that is in the box, the Tea Party stamp set. It's the great big buildable gnome set. I've had a lot of fun with this set so far. It does have the dies too. They're on their way to me. I just actually placed an order for them today, so they'll be coming. But tonight we're going to play with the die of the month. And the die of the month is awesome subscription to get if you're going to get one of any of the subscriptions. They now come in this nice little folder, and I store my dies by putting a piece of Velcro in here, and I put a piece of magnet that has sticky on the back, and then I stick them. And they're all messed up right now because I have been using them tonight, and I might use them. I need to cut more out, so they're all kind of messed up, but usually I have them laid nicely in there, and I should stamp it shut. Now I have a funny story. When you go and you had to cut them apart, these two little pieces right here are for the braids. When I was cutting them apart, one flew across the living room and landed behind my couch, and I was so upset, but I was like, because I didn't think I'd ever find it. So I was going to give a quick little tip. I have this awesome little magnet tool that stretches all the way out. And this is what I used. I moved the couch away and I just had it stretched all the way out, and I went, and then I looked, and there was the die. So this is a nice little tool to have if you can find. My honey gave this to me, so but there are tools like this out there in the market if you search the internet that you can have, so you can, if you got hard to reach places under a table, you just sweep it under and it will pick up your magnets, just like that little die. So anyway, I have these pre-cut already out, and I thought tonight what we do is build some gnomes. So I have a couple of bases cut. I did cut them out of white and black, the two different bases here. And this one works more well with the male gnome because of the mustache. And then this one, I mean, you could make this a male gnome or a female gnome. But if you look at the back of this, it just show you how you can put some of these pieces together. So I am going to go ahead and just do some ink blending tonight with them. I grabbed a bunch of Simon Hurley inks, and I thought we'd just see how they would, what they would do, maybe do some blending on them and some embossing and put them together. So I started doing one off screen a little bit just to see how it works. I have some rosy cheeks, and I'm just kind of, you know, blended on. This is all white scrap cardstock. Now with all these little dies, it's really easy just to keep your scrap cardstock to cut the little pieces off for. So I have that, and then I thought it'd be fun to give her some little texture. And so I pulled a bunch of stencils out of my stash. Hi, Darren. I have like the stripe stencil. This is the circle stencil. This one's called Subtle Spots. You know, I found a bunch of stencils. The X pattern. And this one is Sweet Swirls. You know, anything would really work, but with this small, hi Shannon, with this piece, you want something with a smaller pattern. So I thought it'd be fun to just make some patterns on their outfits. And I think maybe I'll use this Sweet Swirls. So go through your stash and see what kind of, if you have dies, you could cut the die out that has these little patterns and just use them as a stencil. And I'm just gonna leave them right here on my desk underneath, not gonna do anything super fancy, and I'm gonna grab a darker ink. You could use embossing powder, and like I like to use like a Ranger tool when I use embossing powder and stencils. I'm just gonna hold this in place. These little bitty pieces, I probably actually will have to get out my stick and sand mat. I have one specifically for things like this that I don't care if the ink gets on. I should grab it. And if you give me just after this piece, we'll do that. And then just give it a little zhuzh. And I think before I move it, I'm going to go ahead. Well, actually, I'm going to move it. So we got that awesome little pattern on there. I'm going to quick dust this with an anti-static powder tool. Line that stencil back up as best to my ability. Let's see here. Looks like right like this. There we go. I'll clean all my stencils off. That'll be good. It doesn't have to be perfect. And grab my embossing ink. And I'm just going to go ahead and squish it in there. And I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to make her have a little pattern dress. And I've got some fairy dust embossing powder here. Icicle would work really nice too. That's one of my favorites for clear. But this is for the girl, so I want to make her a little bit shiny and sparkly. I love the dyes that are out, you know, now that you can do your own blending on. And instead of having, you know, we all have paper, we all have pattern or colored paper, but it's kind of nice to know that you can just use white paper and some ink and make whatever colors you want. So you don't have to have a ton of colored cardstock in your stash. You know, if you want to just maybe have some of your favorites and then have white, and then you can blend on those. Let me grab my embossing gun. We're not going to do a ton of embossing tonight, but I thought I'd do a little here. And I know Shannon and Darren, I got to ask you how you're doing down in Texas there. Did you get the ice? I saw them, I was seeing on the news that I've seen some other people sharing. Quick, gonna just emboss this. Hello, Neva, is that how I say your name? Welcome. Just quick, look at this fun sparkle that you added to that little outfit. And then this will go on our clothes. So before, and I haven't decided if I'm going to use the white or the black yet, so we'll do that towards the end. Well, welcome, welcome. I'm playing with the die of the month that was released today, and it's called Tea for Two, and it's these awesome little gnome sets. It comes with both little hats, and I'm going to match them up. So we've got a pink little outfit. I don't think I want to give her a pink, so I think I might just give her a red hat. So I'm going to quick grab my red blending brush. Icy but not snowing yet. Okay. Yeah, cold's been the whole thing. It was, tomorrow's going to be okay, and then I saw Friday's going to be negative 13 in the morning and 9 at lunchtime, and I was really sad because the last 2 days I've been able to take the dog out to walk in the mornings, or really at lunch because it's been just too cold. But so I'll have to play with him inside, wear him out in the morning on Friday, and then I'll bundle them up and we'll go for a quick walk at lunch. So there is the Love Struck, and then to add just a little bit of depth, I'm going to grab some, this is Game Over, and just add a little bit of extra color. I've had a lot of fun playing with the gnomes so far, all of them. I think I've done 2 cards so far with the dies. I sent one off to the store, so I don't have a picture. I don't have that one handy. But it's just a really fun set. I love gnomes, and I actually, to be honest with you, I had just a few gnomes in my stash, but they were for holidays, so it wasn't like I could use them for anything. They were like a Christmas gnome or something like that, so it wasn't like I could just use them all the time. So there we've got our little outfit so far for our little girl gnome, and then we've got some hair here. I just got to figure out where I put everything. So I don't know if I want to do, what color hair should I do? I think we're gonna do brown. So let's do, I did orange hair on one too. So I've got the Weeping Willow and the Gur. So, and the fun thing with gnomes is I think, actually, should we have some fun? We're gonna use my favorite color. Darren's favorite color too. We're gonna use the Crown Me, but I'm gonna use a little triple berry first. Let's have some fun and do some wild fun colors. I'm pretty much, you know, it's Valentine's is coming, so I'm making a Valentine's type card. You could do this with, make this like a Galentine's card too, by just using 2 of the girls. Purple, yep, we gotta have some purple. I haven't used purple in a while. Hi Annie, welcome. Hope you're having a good evening, staying warm in the cold weather that's been running around the country. Where'd my lip? There. So start with a little triple berry, and then I'm going to move on to the Crown Me. Now I will tell you that I love the Simon Harley inks, so if you haven't gotten them yet, you should think about that, because they blend beautifully. They've got great colors. You can do lots of fun texture-y things with them with water, because they're water reactive. They're easy to heat emboss with, you know, because they can stay dry or wet a little bit longer, so you can add some embossing powder to them. All right, so there we got our gnome. She's got her purple hair. And then there are 2 noses in the bunch. I did both of them. And we're going to do them both at the same time. But I think what I'm going to do... Hi, Debbie from Tennessee. Is grab, I want to grab, this is some low-tech old pixie tape from Thermal Web. It's really old. I've just been trying to use it up. Not quite so sticky. I'm just going to put that down, and I have cookie dough here. And I'm just going to blend it, and so I just stuck it on this tape. You could use washi tape. Any low-tack tape would work for small pieces, so you can just hold it. And the reason I like to do that is it holds it in place, and I can turn them around and do that. And I think I'm gonna just put just a touch of pink, whatever, pink, maybe some red. Give them some kind of cheery noses. All right, so we've got our nose, and I'm gonna give the girl our little nose. Give the girl our small nose. So I'm not going to worry about her feet yet, because I have a little trick to what I did with them, what I liked. So now we're going to move on to our boy gnome. So for him, we've got our beard and our mustache. And here's the beard. And here's our mustache. And so he's going to go on like this. Okay, so I think for fun, I thought that was a rear view of the gnome. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, in all honesty, it could be the back side of the gnome too. I like the base to be able to build it on because it's very nice to, you know, it gives you something sturdy. And this is, if you look, this is scrap. It is the thinnest paper. Hi, Donna. And I just use it because I'm trying to use up scraps this year. I could put it on this piece to give it a little bit more sturdiness, but there's going to be building up on this, so I just cut up a bunch so I'd have them. I think we're going to go with the fun colors, and let's give this guy, I don't want to go green. I think we're going to go tropical tango. How does that sound for his beard? We're just going to go with some fun colors because, and what I like is that you can kind of just do it light, and he kind of has that white look, but I'm going to do a little bit darker. So we'll start with the tropical tango, and we'll add some Remember Me in there. And I think it's fun that when I was coloring these, I made I think I was coloring them up once, and I made the mustache like really dark and the beard not quite so dark, or vice versa, you know. This is another one of those that I could stick on this tape. Hi, Mom. You made it. I'm glad you figured out how to be able to do it. It's at the chat. So, for those of you who don't know, I live in northeast corner of Iowa, and my family lives, most of my family lives in Minnesota. My son lives here in town. I have 2 grown children. My daughter lives in Florida, so I don't see them very often. But my sisters and my mom and dad all live in northern Minnesota, so they like to join when I'm here so that they can watch me. And we get a little bit of family time during this. So there we go. We got a fun kind of tealy gnome face. All right, I'm going to put that, and then we need to get his hat going. If we have time, we'll color up some other gnomes too if I get a little too fast on the time. I'm trying to keep the colors so I make sure I keep the notes of what colors I've been using. I'm just using a whole rainbow of inks. All right, and then we need to do his hat. And that one I think we're going to do in green, and I think I'm going to do it in green or yellow? What do you guys think? Maybe yellow with the teal. I think yellow. I've got slippery and wet. Thanks, Shannon. I knew I wanted to use the dyes. I was thinking about coloring them with my Olos tonight, but I know I want to use those when I use the inspiration box, and I thought it'd be fun to, I've been seeing everyone do, all the videos have people doing die cuts and just ink blending on stuff, and I thought this would be more fun because, you know, we all have white cardstock, and if you really wanted them darker, you could start with a colored cardstock, and it wouldn't take as much to blend if you wanted to. If you want to do ink blending, yeah, yellow with the teal. Plus, you know, we can have some green and something else. But I thought, I did the shooting star. I have the slippery when wet here too. I thought maybe we'd do the slippery when wet with a pattern. And I thought here we would do, I'm going to do the cross stitch or the X pattern. Like I said, just look through your stash, see what kind of small, I mean, you could do bigger patterns, but with such a small area, you want something with a smaller pattern, I feel will be the best impact. And I'm just going to line it up so I get some of this, so you can see that there's some of those X's on here. And I just stuck it down on that piece of tape to hold it in place. And we're going to do that quick. think for him, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go full on sparkly. But instead of doing like fairy dust with the sparkle, we'll do the icicle. So I'm going to use my embossing ink, and I'm just going to push it down on top. And we're going to grab the icicle. And as you can see, icicle is one of my favorites because I have it in an extra bin. And I kind of forgot about the fairy dust until Shannon used it a while ago. So I actually am going to have a place an order for a couple of jars so I can put them in because I really like that with the sparkle. And I'm going to actually try to just grab it by the tip here. And then it's kind of nice, you can just dip in small pieces. And I think this adds a lot of fun texture and shine to your pieces. So the icicles are clear. I have dumped it in multiple times sometimes to give it more of a finished look without the texture, but I'm going to leave the texture because it's a gnome hat. So sometimes if you want that really smooth look of embossing powder, if you dump it in a couple of times, you can get that texture, because sometimes embossing powder can be bumpy. Okay, so we've got all that. So now I better clean up my desk just a little bit before we go on so I don't have ink on everything. I'm just using some cinnamon squeaky clean, which is one of my favorites. I hoard this one. I don't use it as often as I always do because I like to use, it's my favorite smell. All right, so we got that cleaned up. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do the mushrooms or not yet, or the hands or that. I haven't decided on that part of it, so I thought maybe we'll build them quick and then work on our background. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and use the white. Actually, no, I am going to use the black because I thought about using the black at the last minute because this part down here is their shoes, and I can leave it just like this. You know, and you'd have those dull shoes, which are kind of fun. But I thought, and maybe we'll do that for him, but for the girl, I thought it'd be fun to give her fancy shoes. Now, this is going to cover up here. It's going to go right here. And then her hair is going to cover up these teeny tiny places. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my embossing pad, press it down right here in the bottom. You don't need any anti-static powder. And then you could make them sparkly, which would be, which is what I'm gonna, no, we'll just do patent leather. I was thinking to use the Raven Sparkle, but we're just gonna go ahead and use this. And here's where I'm gonna show you where you can make it really shiny and smooth. So I've just got the black embossing powder. This is the Raven. And then while I'm still kind of heating it up, it gets nice and hot, I'm going to dip it back in really quick. And I'm going to put it in and I'm going to melt it again. And then I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time. Really fast. And look at how smooth that looks. I'll bring that up closer to the camera. You see how smooth that looks? And now she's got patent leather shoes. So I thought that was really fun for that with the dies. Patent leather, exactly. So then we'll go ahead, and I think I blew some stuff away with that, and we'll get her glued together. And I think I started, I don't remember how I started building these the last time. Let's start with her hat. I'm just waiting for my glue. And it was kind of fun. I was playing around the other day and I did play around with the stamp set, the T for 2 stamp set. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Tea Party stamp set. Let me pull it out. The hats, I'm sure Darren did this, would fit. It do fit on the hood. So you can use these hats with the stamp set if you really want to. Once you put it on with the So that's kind of fun to do that. So you can mix and match them together. Oh, my glue is not cooperating tonight. I'm getting to the I've had this glue bottle for a long time. For a year and a half, maybe? I don't remember. I feel like it's been at least a year, but a year and a half. And so every once in a while, if I don't use it, it's not that it sticks. It just, I didn't close it right away. It's a little bit of dried and I got to poke that out. So I just take the top off and poke the hole through till I can see it. And okay. Go ahead, we're going to put that right on there. And then we're going to go ahead and get the body on here. Oh, you're just going to be really finicky tonight. I might have to grab a different glue. Okay, well, we're going to go with a different glue because this one's being finicky tonight, and I don't want you to have to sit here and watch me fight with the glue bottle. So I just have another glue bottle here. This is Ultra Brown from Thermal Web, which is a very good glue. Ooh. But I tend to squeeze too hard with some of these glues, so that's why I like to use that tip on the other one. Okay, so now I used a lot of glue on this, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some of that glue and stick on this hat. Stick that upside down because it takes a while to dry, and actually I'll put some of it on the beard too because I put a lot of glue on there. Alright, and then we'll put the little body on here. Now, because I use that embossing powder down here, it might not stick right away, so I'm going to put something heavy on it, and we'll do that. We'll go ahead and glue this guy back together. Because of that shine on the embossing powder, it takes just an extra second for the glue to dry. And then we got that, and we're going to put on his beard. And it's super simple to line it up with the pieces, with the background. You can line that up. Oops, I see I put a lot of glue on there. It's very wiggly. And it doesn't matter if that is 100% perfect right in here because we're going to put the mustache on there and cover that up. Okay, I might have twisted that just a little bit. All right. So now what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little glue on my mat here. Wipe that off. And I'm just going to go ahead and dip these in. And I'm not afraid to get messy, and I'll just rub it out with my fingers. I really like the precision tip, and I'm so used to that. That's what I have a cloth here I can just wipe. I am so glad it's Wednesday. It's my crafty time usually is on the weekends, and I am looking forward to spending some quality time in my craft room this weekend. So got lots of stuff I have to do. There's the purple hair. So now, if you remember, I put a little pink on there, so I'm going to make sure that's on the top. I want that to be up for her nose. And if you're not 100% sure, you know, it's dye, you know, just paper. Play around. But that, you also have this, oh, and I see, I do have those cut. I forgot to print, to do those, the little pieces for her hair, so we'll have to ink those. But just go ahead and play. You know, I mean, it's up to you. Do you want, you know, I'm going to look. Let's just look at it. If I put the nose here first, and then you put the mustache, you can do it that way. Or you can put the nose and then the mustache, you know, so it's up to you how you want to do it. Because, you know, if you think about it, you know, your mustache kind of comes out of the bottom of your nose, and I think that might be what I do, but I am going to go ahead and line up the mustache first because I like it that way. I'm not, you know, there's no wrong way. It's paper crafting, and it's gnomes, so they're whimsical and make-believe characters. because I don't know if I know any gnome, you know, that has green hair or teal hair. And I'm going to line it up like that. For dimension, you can add lots of layers of different pieces so that it really could build up certain spots. Like you could build up 2 or 3 pieces. And then I have a little bit of extra glue. I'm just going to go ahead and dab it off with my cloth. And there we go. We got our guy gnome. I'm going to let that dry a little bit and use my magic or my glue tool to get some of that off. And we got our little girl over here. We need to get her braid pieces here. So grab my little stick here. Stick them down on my paper. There's also a cute little flower that you could probably put in her hair if you really wanted to. Okay, I can't quite get it to go the right direction. There we go. Nope, that's still upside down. All right, you're driving me nuts. There we go, there we go. Come on, come on, come on. Flip it over. There we go, yay. Push those in quick. All right, and we used red. So we're just gonna I might have to grab some extra red. Not too bad. Hope I'm not off camera too bad. I'm just kind of making sure there's an extra little redness in her. Sure if I put something on there, and then we'll just quick. But we have lots of tools in our arsenal, right? And put her little barrette pieces, rubber band, kind of depends on what you think they look like, in her hair. Okay, so we've got our little gnomies here. Now, this is where I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I did a couple different backgrounds. I do have a couple of the mushrooms here too. But I went through my stash. I have these glitter hearts cut out left over from a project. So I'm kind of making a Valentine. I've got some of the mushrooms in the teacup. There's a heart, the die, there's the hands, the grass. So I have some of those pieces, and these are extra gnome pieces here. We'll put those off to the side for right now. And these are more of the mushroom pieces. So I have a couple of different ideas that I was going to show you. I grabbed an old die from my stash, cover plate die from my stash, and I cut it out. So I have this, and I can use this on a piece of white paper and just ink blend it. And then I'd have 2. Yeah, they do all have the same hairstyles, you're right. I suppose with some zhuzhin around, you could make her have pigtails straight out the side. I might have to play with that a little bit. So I have this cover plate, which I can use, and I'm going to use some pixie spray on it, and I could use just on a place, like on a plain card base, and ink blend it and peel it off, and then I'd have 2 cards. I also use the cover plate with an embossing pad, and I dry embossed it, and so I have that texture. And I thought this would be fun to make for the background. I don't usually like to go direct to the card base because I tend to screw them up. So I'm going to quick grab this and spray this off camera. Give me 1 second. Let's put some pixie spray on it because we're going to use this like a stencil. And I'm going to go ahead and put it down. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to use that pinks and reds to do the background. So we got to go down to the bottom here. And I'm going to use Rosy Cheeks and Love Struck. And I'm going to go ahead and just ink blend. It doesn't have to be super heavy. I'm going to do some of the rosy cheeks at the top. And it might be a little dark because I think, you know, depends on how much ink. I didn't wipe my brush off. I just go and I go back and forth, both one way and then the other. And then we'll grab some Love Struck here, and we're gonna have this cool heart background. And it's gonna be kind of distressed because of the these are scraps of paper as well. I have this whole pile of scraps, and I've been trying to, instead of throw them away, just use them up, use them for the backgrounds, use them for layering, use them for die cutting. So this was a heavier, it feels like it might be 110 paper, and so I have a little bit of, when it dry embossed there, it did a little bit of, not really cracking, but it has some texture to the hearts, which I don't mind one bit. And then to add just a little bit of shine, let's grab our Pearl Shimmer Mist. And I'm looking for my box. It's on the other side of the room. I'm gonna throw that in here. I'm actually gonna put a piece of paper towel on the bottom too, just to help. And I don't care if it's perfect. You also could do some Chroma Mist sprays. Okay. But I just thought I'd add just a little bit of, we want to add a little sparkle. I'm going to wipe a little bit of the extra off so it's not super, and then we'll have a shimmery, shiny background. And I'm going to peel this away. Hopefully I didn't use too much pixie spray, because it is paper. Get under there, and we're going to peel this away. Oh, please, please have worked. I might have used too much pixie spray. So I'm going to gently peel it so it doesn't peel off too much. All right. So now I have this. I can use it on another card. And here is my background. And look at how fun that is. Like I said, I just went through my stash and found a die that I thought would work really well with our hearts and love. I'm going to go ahead and put this down on my card base. Maybe. My tape gun is acting up. Thank you. I like to sometimes think on the fly. Sometimes I think if I plan stuff out too much, I overthink it. So I kind of knew what I wanted to do tonight, but I came home from work and I sat down at my desk and ate dinner, you know, did a little bit, and then I ate dinner, and then I'm just checking because I have a little bit of color on the side, so I might just do a little bit of blending on the sides here. I know I have tape on the back, but just a little bit because I have a little blending on there. Okay, and I know I've got a little piece right there. We're going to cover that up. That's an oopsie error. So let's get some of this. And if the shimmer spray isn't all the way dry, sometimes you can transfer it, but that's a little bit of glue too, so that's why it's sticking. The shimmer spray sticking to my mat. Okay, let's get that on my card base. This is one of our pre-cut card bases. I love them. We're gonna go ahead and put that down. And then there's where you can go just kind of crazy. You could get a heart, vellum heart to cut out. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and put my little gnomies on here. Oops, I see his beard got a little bit up high. I moved and it dried, so we're gonna trim that off here a little bit. If you didn't have, if you didn't do die cutting, and you could use your, if you don't have a cover plate, you could also use the stencils to dry emboss like this, or just use a stencil to emboss your background. So we've got our little gnomes here, and looks like we need to do a little bit, like I said, of the erasing of the extra glue. Do a little bit, and I can finish that up after. And then we need to figure out what sentiment we want. We got all sorts of sentiments. You can do the girl on the right, the boy on the left, so their hats go out. I'm going to go this way because I want their hats to go in, because they kind of make like a little heart with their hats. We've got these little hearts. Let's see. I think these are leftover hearts that were from the Create Your Own Ending, one of the stamp sets, the Valentine set that came with the Create Your Own Ending event. I see I have 3 hearts, so I don't know. I just might put them in random spots here. I don't know. I haven't decided. You know. Or maybe I'll put one here. And we'll put some bling there. What do you think? Okay, we got that. That works. So now we need a sentiment. I've been really loving the best friends no matter what, because I think that you know, my honey and I were best friends. So we'll be best friends no matter what. We also got the You're My Cup of Tea. You know, if we put the mushrooms on and you wanted to make it a thank you card, you could say thank you very much, or you brighten my day, because they're very bright colors, or just hello. But I think I'm just going to go ahead with best friends no matter what. No matter what. So let's get that stamped out. I'll throw in a piece of, this is just another piece of, like I said, scratch paper. I use up as much as I can anymore. I have a whole drawer over here, drawers full of scraps, and I'm just trying to use them up. And then we don't have any black on this card, so I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Love Struck to add a little bit more color in here. We've got a lot of the pink and red going on, so I may have to stamp this more than once, because I probably need to re-ink my ink pads, because I use these a lot. And of course it moved. So we'll flip it over. Let's get another magnet on there. Hope if you guys have checked out the store today in the new release, there's also was added a bunch of new products, and there was some Harry Potter products added, some Alice in Wonder products added, and Wizard of Oz. There's some new candies in the store, and I saw that there's also under the events, there's going to be a virtual event with Christopher in March, and that is in there too. So make sure you head over to the store and check out all the new things. I have a feeling this inspiration box will sell out fairly quickly, so if you're thinking about it, make sure you go ahead and grab it. When I line up my sentiments, I just line them up with the white plasticky edge on here, and that kind of gives me that perfect border all the way around. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and put that down up here at the top. Cover up my little boo-boo. Where I use too much pixie spray. And then I think what we're going to do is we're going to pop up these guys. So what do I have here? I'm just going to grab whatever foam tape is closest. And we're going to just pop it in. I think that will add just a nice little extra 3D dimension. On our cards. Alrighty, I think I need one more little piece. Actually, I've got a small piece here that I'm just gonna try. I've been trying to use up, and it has been too wide for some of the areas, so I'll just throw it in here and use that up. All right, let's turn it over, make sure I don't have any foam showing. I do have a little bit of foam showing there, so we're just gonna go in and trim that corner off a little bit. And we'll peel them off. We'll stick them down. And I hope, you know, make sure you go over to Instagram, the Bruce Monroe Fan Club, the Bruce Monroe Facebook group. You'll see lots of inspiration from the team. We've been some great projects that I've been seeing by everyone. Just such a wide variety of fun things, colors, ideas on what to use with this stamp set, and these products. All right, so the nice thing is I'm not a very good straight person. I can use these little hearts to, well, let's see, I'll line these up here. So I want them kind of close. We'll line him up like here. So we have one little heart to the side. I just get them off Amazon, Susan. I don't buy the same brand every time. I just buy, I've been lately buying the 4x6 size with adhesive. I don't even know anything about other than I just Google it. And to be honest with you, buy the least expensive one I can get with them, like 10 packs, things like that. I've also bought some thicker ones, and what I like to do is with my dies, so like with these dies now, I'm going to tuck I want his mustache to be up on top. Move her over just a hair. You know, I'm putting them inside my folders, like I said, which is perfect. I love that part. But what I do is I keep cardboard. Don't know if I have any handy, but I keep cardboard from different, I'm looking to see if I have one I can show you here. From the back of yeah, so I keep like little cardboards from the back of notebooks, and then I use them on the back. These are old, those are not sticky kind. And then I peel it off, and this one actually doesn't have a lot of stick left, so it's not been sticking. And I stick them on, so like if I'm using them with my dies for my sets, so that they make them sturdy. So I just keep this. This is from the back of anything that's like a notebook or a calendar or thicker boxes that you get like with your food. Thicker ones would work. It's just to give it a little bit more stability. I didn't do it with all of them to start. I just started doing that more recently. But that just gives them a little bit more, because I do store my dies in the envelopes with my stamp sets. All right, there we go. We've got our little best friend Gnome card. I think we need to add a heart though, right? What do you think? Like that right there? I think that works perfect. That looks perfect. A little bit of glitter stock hearts is never a bad thing. Put this guy right here. I know we're going to cover up some of her hair and some of his body, but put that on there, and we've got our little card. I don't think that's quite straight, so I'm going to move that down. There we go. So let me see if you get up closer here. Get a little bit of the texture, you know, like so. It's very, very subtle. In person, you can see the shine on her outfit. And that just adds just a little bit of extra fun. I mean, you really could get some, oh, thanks, Shannon. You could use pattern paper for the hats and this. So, you know, like here's some of the Tea Party paper. And, oh man, I have dies everywhere here. Let's see. You know, and you could just choose a spot and just cut out just a piece that you want perfect. This is left over from a project I have upcoming with the stencil, some Velveteen glaze, but you know, you could use that, or you cut it out so that the heart is perfectly in the center. you could do that with fun with pattern paper for all of the pieces, you know, fun little noses and things like that. But go through your scraps and find those out. So, well, it's about 10 minutes to 8. So if anyone has any questions, I'm not going to get too much more into anything, but I do have this card. And can I share a card, Shannon? That is going to be coming up on social media. I don't remember where we're sharing it that I used. Is that okay? Close to us, and we totally. Yeah, Susan, I've seen a ton of. I have a crafty friend that lives down there, and she was showing the video of her front yard with the trees that have fallen down. Ice is not fun. All right, thanks, Shannon. I'll show you a little sneaky peek. So like I said, I sent some of my projects off to the store, but this was one of my favorite projects. I haven't had a chance to send it in yet. I used the mushrooms and aqua pigments, and I made a fun little slimline card, rainbow slimline card. So this is chroma mists. No, these are not aqua pigments. These are chroma mists, and I added just a little bit of aqua pigment pearl to them to do that. So this is a fun way that you can use this set without the gnomes, but that's a fun way to color your dies. And then I wanted to say one little thing is I saved the little pieces out and I added them to the stem. So, you know, this is a fun little card you can have, and I don't know if I have the others. I think are from the other sets, which we're not using today. So I'll save them from another day. But thank you for joining me tonight, and head over to the store and get your Tea for Two dies or your gnome inspiration set. Well, you can. Some of the pieces are available separately if you just wanted the stamp and die. But the stamp and die, if you buy the stamp and die alone, it's better just to buy the inspiration kit. You'll get you get so much more and better. It's worth the price. So pop over there, and I appreciate it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like. Subscribe so you know when any of the people go live on our channel. And have a great evening. I will see you soon. And don't forget to create your own ending. Thank you, guys.